My name is Peter Sorensen. I've been flying over southern England, videotaping the crop circles with friends who are pilots. Here are some of the most extraordinary circles of the past few years. Every year, the crop circles get better and better and more amazing. In 1995, as I left Los Angeles to go to England, I was really wondering how they could possibly outdo themselves again. But they did. And I am never sorry to leave the smog of Los Angeles behind in anticipation of the fresh air and the magic of Wiltshire and Hampshire. You can be sure. While I'm on the plane, I like to have a little fun. And I like to keep track of the sky map, which shows us where we are at all times. Now look at these. These are typical American fields, large, rectangular, and rather monotonous. In a few seconds, after these art shots of mine, you will see some typical British fields. Here we go. They're shaped by the fact that they were tilled by hand for thousands of years, following the contours of the land. And I think that the life force of the land is a key to understanding the crop circles. Which is why the first thing I did when I got to England was come here, to this sacred hill called Glastonbury Tor, to celebrate Beltane. Beltane is a cross-quarter point of the seasons. It's between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. And in some ways, it is the most important of all the sacred times. For this is when the life force returns to the land, and to the animals and the people. It's when the solar god and the earth goddess make love and bring forth another year of bounty. In the week before May 1st, which is Beltane, spiritual people have been gathering in Glastonbury from all around the world. Pagans and druids, you name it. I was one of them. I don't know what category I fit into, but I know that here is something very, very ancient and very, very special. See, these trees are decorated with gifts, prayers, magical tokens by thousands of people. This is the origin of the decorated Christmas tree, by the way. These people have come here to participate in rituals that trace back to the Stone Age. Spend the night around a bonfire and celebrate nothing less than the return of life.
Guys, get up! Get up! This is Beltane!
Right, if everyone likes to join a bit around me, you're all sort of out here as well, which is very nice. But it'd be lovely if you all sort of round me a bit more. We'll do some words of a very ancient and traditional May song. Now, you've all probably heard this when you were kids. You probably all sang it at school. Here we come gathering nuts in May. This is an ancient fertility religion. But the village maidens went out a Maying on May Eve and May morning, and they grabbed a fellow like clover nuts, and they went off into the woods with him. That's the origin of this ancient song. Here we come gathering nuts in May, nuts in May, nuts in May. Everybody's very keen on that, I can see. Right. One more try round, shall we go for it? Yes. He is going to summon the sun. Hear the call of the bull says, the king is here.
Epiphanius, hail to thee!
May there be peace in the North. Hail to thee, O sun, arising in thy splendour. Hail to thee, O sun. Hail to thee, O sun, who gives light to our world. Hail to thee, O sun. Well, and as the sun of May Day illumines the great dragon line of South Britain, right down over Amesbury through Glastonbury Tor here, right the way down for St Michael's Mount when the sun does shine. Let us celebrate the union of heaven and earth, the male and female forces of creation, and sun and earth, and man and woman, and lance and grail, and bless this whole earth, that it shall continue from eternity unto eternity. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Lovely. Thank you, everyone. Arthur, be thou blessed in our midst with thy quest. For those who do not know this at this moment, we're in the process now of taking a suit against the Home Secretary for the ban on Stonehenge under the Criminal Justice Act. So for Arthur and liberty, 3 cheers. Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Round and around and around we go.
Pardon me, sir. Would you care to tell the people of America what has just taken place here this morning?
Singing for a lot of us something very powerful in the pagan year. Saying goodbye to winter and greetings to summer. And the warmth will spread and hopefully the love with it.
And Beltane is one of the 4 Celtic fire festivals. The other one on the other side of the year is Samhain, when everything starts to degenerate into winter. But this is Beltane, so everybody's getting a bit happy because summer's coming.
An ancient ceremony goes way, way back to prehistory.
For life is a mystic spiral, dance close to me, reaching ever onward with love for flower, plant and tree. Your future like the earth's is a balance very fine, so dance a mystic spiral and scatter the seeds of time. So dance a mystic spiral and scatter the seeds of time. Dance a mystic spiral, dance a dance for me. With every step revitalize flower, plant and tree. The dance is very ancient, its origins unknown, but each step of life will gently lead you on. For life is a mystic spiral, dance close to me, reaching ever onward with love for flower, plant and tree. Your future like the earth's is a balance very fine, so dance a mystic spiral and scatter the seeds of time. So dance the mystic spiral and scatter the seeds of time. So dance the mystic spiral and scatter the seeds of time.
A little later, we'll go to Avebury for the summer solstice. But first, let's see some crop circles.
Victor Echo, pre-flight ready, check in taxi instructions, please. Golf, Sierra Echo, Victor Echo, loud and clear, taxi runway 31, left hand to the hold, QFE 1007, QH 1018. 31 left hand, 1007 and 1018, and it's a detail out to the north and return into the near.
Our pilot for that flight was the great Busty Taylor. I also often fly with Steve Patterson, and very often the three of us fly together. Before I left for England, the American woman, Laura Nelson, gave me a diagram that she had been meditating on. And basically, this is it. Notice the center of the design is sort of a bulging triangle. In a few moments, you'll find out something very interesting about that shape.
Seatbelt on. Golf Victor Echo final 07. Victor Echo, Japan 07 at your discretion. Service wind is east southeasterly at 10. Golf Victor Echo.
Now my friend Michael is an architect and a designer. And he's been studying the geometry of the crop circles for several years. He made a most amazing discovery about that formation that we just saw a moment ago. First, he wants to demonstrate the principle of a roller for us. And of course it rolls smoothly, as he dramatically demonstrates with this pint of beer. But would you believe that there is another shape in the universe that also rolls smoothly? That's it. And its only use that I know of is in the Wackel engine. here we go. Hard to believe, but true. There is another shape besides the circle that rolls smoothly. Up until this point, the circle makers had just been warming up, testing their brushes, as it were. And then, on the 29th of May, this real aristocrat appeared. It's a spiral, the second in history, and it's 1,350 feet long if you walk the full length of it.
Oh, life is a mystic spiral, dance close to me, reaching ever onward with love for flower, plant and tree. Your future, like the earth's, is a balance very fine. So dance the mystic spiral and scatter the seeds of time. So dance the mystic spiral and scatter the seeds of time. Dance the mystic spiral, dance the dance for me. With every step revitalize flower, plant and tree. The dance is very ancient, its origins unknown, but each step of life will gently lead you on. For life is a mystic spiral, dance close to me, reaching ever onward with love for flower, plant and tree. Your future, like the earth's, is a balance very fine. So dance the mystic spiral and scatter the seeds of time. So dance the mystic spiral and scatter the seeds of time.
Another thing that fascinates me when I'm flying are the chalk figures that are carved into the sides of the hills. Some of these, like this one, are very ancient indeed. They're made by scraping away the soil and exposing the chalk, which is bedrock underneath.
Okay, we're here with Carrie Blower, and she's going to explain her dream in which she dreamt about the Celtic cross fractal crop circle.
Yep.
And we'll start with the diagram. So, on February 20th of 1995, right?
Yep.
You dreamed of this design. Tell us a little bit about it, Carrie.
Well, I've never dreamt of a crop circle before, so when I dreamt about this, I knew in the dream I had to remember it in detail. And I remember I was on a hill, I was stood here, looking down a hill, and then so when I woke up, I immediately drew it all in my diary, and then I was amazed to see it was the first one to appear, I think, in Chessford Ed.
For Americans, the end of World War II meant the boys coming home. We were lucky our fathers and sons returned. But for Britain, it meant the end of the Blitz, of years of bombing, and entire families being wiped out. The emotion I felt in this little town of Andover half a century later was overwhelming. Gaze on these faces with respect. They're the ones who survived. And these faces
You gentlemen veterans?
Yeah.
So I want to thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, seatbelts on?
Yep.
around and around and around we go. This formation has the world's record number of circles in it. 97 separate circles and 3 rings. That gives us a cool 100 elements in the first of a series of asteroid belt formations. The asteroid belt theme would be developed in the next few days to produce the most awesome of all crop circle formations ever.
Whatsoever, it doesn't register. Literally as if the whole ground has been earthed or something. So far it hasn't proved to be a sort of litmus test, but I'm working on it.
I'm afraid have been bent and smashed.
I found a rather decent one, actually.
It's fossilised ivory, so you know nothing was killed.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, fossilised ivory. And she's inset the opals.
That's what they are.
Australian opals, aren't they beautiful?
Oh, gorgeous.
The Celtic cross.
So here we are at Midsummer's Eve night on a cumulus near Avebury having a bonfire, as people have done for thousands of years.
Loads of LP stuff. Loads of dancing here.
Don't let the unbridled revelry deceive you. Every man and woman here was well aware of the spiritual significance of this night. It's just that joy was its proper expression. Oh, wow. But more serious emotions demanded expression in the chilly pre-dawn light as we began our pilgrimage to Avebury. The ceremonial route to Avebury is marked by lines of standing stones. At Midsummer's Day in ancient times, almost certainly the whole population would walk this route to get to the henge. I felt that for us, it was a time of reflection on what it meant to be human. The summer solstice is the peak of summer, and it also is the beginning of the inexorable return to winter. And this cycle of life and death, nothing less, is the meaning of this ritual. Although we arrived at the stone circle in time for sunrise, as you can see, the fog was too heavy for us to actually see the sun. So we stood there for a while in contemplation before walking down to explore the stones.
Over the years, the Buddha Maitreya has given us various teachings on crop circles, and one of the latest realities that he's taught us about, and I understand it to mean, is that the crop circles are angelic realities, a way of angels blessing the food chain. So as the food chain is blessed, our DNA structure can be restructured rather than having to go through heavy teachings or following a particular guru or teacher or anything else. Within reality, God is always blessing us through food. So this is a wonderful way of showing the sacred geometric reality of God and also feeding us as humanity.
Wow. Turn around, Max. Show us the back of your shirt here. This guy has got to be one of the sweetest and most gentle people that I've ever met. This is it, the most awesome crop circle ever. It's an accurate representation of our inner solar system, and yet the Earth is missing from its orbit. Perhaps this is a warning that we're going too far in our destruction of Mother Earth. But was it a coincidence that 3 months after this formation occurred, the astronomers discovered a large asteroid out of its orbit and on a possible collision course with Earth in 1999?
Sorensen.
Hi, little eye.
Mwah.
Pretend you're videoing. Well, it's hard to see. Yeah, it does come down at a slant, doesn't it?
Then go through that arch there.
Yeah.
Is that what it does?
It does come down at a slant.
This formation of 16 rings was by far the largest of the year. But much more interesting were the 24 or so immaculate little grape shops nearby.
Over here is the first of many grape shot, and then this ringed one here. And another grape shot, and another.
Here they are on the left.
And here's one of the larger ones.
In the middle of your screen.
That had a nice little tuft with a lot of sort of braiding going around it.
It's right in the outer ring. It's interesting, there's almost a bridge there because it goes underneath.
Hmm. Right.
Now you know what I mean.
Notice that there isn't a hint of anyone having walked out to those circles. And these are the tiny ones below the large circle on your right.
Gosh, look at that. Oh. Wow.
And so few people got to see those little gems because they were distracted by the larger form. In fact, the larger formations have really been monopolizing our attention for several years. Truth is that there are still as many simple circles out there as there are fancy formations. These are just a few of them. Now for something a little bit different. These markings are not popsicles. To understand them, look at these mounds, and these mounds, these are tumuli made by the ancient people who built Stonehenge in Avebury. And when the farmers plow over them, their ghosts turn up as discolorations in the crop, even after hundreds of years of plowing. The life force of the soil is different where these things once were. I wonder if there's a connection with the fact that tumuli are almost always on ley lines, and that the energy there might somehow be more vital. I wonder.
Had a road sound.
say we're all living in a small blue world. Everywhere is our backyard. It's time to realize we gotta get down to earth. Feel that dry soil in your hands. Feel the magic in the hand. See the look in a child's eyes. See the clouds rolling in the skies. I'm telling you, I can't cry anymore. And I'm tired of talking about what to do. I can't bleed, I can't fake. I'm out of touch. I can't feel anything but the blues.
We're very lucky that this one survived the Christian invasion. Those who said that humans could not fabricate a decent-looking crop circle were in for a big shock this summer. Now, we all know that something like this is most certainly a joke. And this is just vandalism. But this is made by two men who want to communicate with the real crop circle makers, and they paid the farmer for the right to make this one. Hang on onto your seatbelts. For this one, farmers paid a team of artists to create the Organic Soil Association logo for an advertisement. And there is no denying it is an exquisite piece of workmanship. Of course, they did it in the daytime, and they didn't have to have any fear of being caught. And the counterfeiters have had many years to perfect their craft. I don't think this explains crop circles any more than weather balloons explain UFOs. Now for the good news. In 1994, there was an eye-shaped crop circle in wheat at Alton Barns. That formation could be seen sort of reincarnated because there was barley there this summer and the wheat had a different color. And surrounding it for thousands of feet in all directions was this electrifying pattern in the barley. The life force of the field was affected by the crop circle like iron filings around a magnet. Now, there are many things that affect the life and health of the plants. This, for instance, was caused by flooding of the fields in spring. These straight lines are where there used to be hedgerows. This is disease, and I'm told that these are probably underground streams. But I've seen nothing like this anywhere. The farmer said those markings had never appeared before.
Yes, that discoloration in Eastfield, there's no explanation for it from any of the actions that we've done by farming it, or from the drought conditions with the various soil types. The soil type is all very similar in that field, so although some bits do dry out quicker than others, you can't explain those shapes from last year's crop circle in there. None of the spraying, none of the fertilising, none of the cultivation work were done in any of those ways. It was all straight up and down. So it's yeah, it's quite interesting.
What about the possibility of archaeological markings?
I don't know, but there weren't any settlements out there. That's for sure. They were either down by the springs or on top of the hills. When they moved off the Iron Age forts on the hill, they went down to the springs, so that's where they lived. They lived by the water once it was safe to move down off the hills. So they wouldn't have done anything out in the fields there.
And it wouldn't be contour plowing or anything like that?
No, no. Everything we did in that field was straight up and down. So we haven't gone across on an angle or in a swirl or anything.
Yeah.
So the mystery continues.
Indeed.
These are samples of wheat that Iris has collected from 1995 from several different formations. And the main thing that she's been concentrating on is what she calls blown nodes. That is where the node on the stalk of the plant has been almost exploded open. Now, technically, these are called expulsion cavities. And you can see they almost look burned. And the variation on the blown nodes are those that are tremendously swollen, like this.
And after one has been in love with crop circles for a few years, one can't help but fall in love with the plants as well. Their life becomes our food, birth and rebirth. This is the sacred secret of the soil.
Well, this is it. The last time anyone's going to see the Eastfield Eye intact.
Finished. Harvest finished. Right. That means you get to relax for the rest of the winter, right?
And once all the grain is in, the farmers have their traditional harvest supper. And here I showed them my video of their harvest. These are quietly great people who I've really come to love, and especially their kids.
All right, here we have Josh and Nell standing next to their portraits. How about if you guys like face towards each other like the portrait is, like the stone carving. Right. Good. Now move a little closer and stand on tippy toes now. That's it, a little closer. All right, that's good. That's good. Thanks very much, kids. Because Ego wants attention too. Yes, Ego wants attention too.
And finally, wrapping it all up, like Beltane, only different. The Harvest Carnival. All of the frivolity aside, the ancient ways survive. The tractor is honored instead of the horse, but the bread, our food, has the place of honor.
Can't kill the spirit, can't kill the spirit, you can't kill the spirit of a dragon. Can't kill the spirit, can't kill the spirit, you can't kill the spirit of the dragon. Can't kill the spirit, can't kill the spirit, you can't kill the spirit of the dragon. Can't kill the spirit, can't kill the spirit, you can't kill the spirit of the dragon. And no one can kill the spirit of a dragon, so the dragon is very happy.
This morning, yes.
This morning, and yeah, and over the past week that I've noticed dragon people everywhere, actually. A lot of dragon people. And reclaiming the land, and they're protecting the trees, and they're swimming with dolphins, and they're dancing with the pixies. So, and generally making merry, and so they should, because it's Beltane. So blessed be.
We are the old
ABC News. 2020 continues. Once again, Barbara Walters.
Well, now a mystery that would have tested Sherlock Holmes. The case of the reappearing circles. You probably thought it was solved years ago when newspapers around the world carried the confessions of the culprits. But someone or something is still etching fantastic patterns in the fields of this country and abroad. As Bob Brown discovered, new clues have turned up, and so has an army of amateur detectives determined to solve this most intriguing whodunit.
You may remember all those stories about the crop circles, those strange, unexplained formations that appeared overnight summer after summer in the farm fields of south-central England. You may also remember how the wind was knocked out of that mystery when two men claimed that they, not some weather phenomenon, not UFOs or magnetic fields, had created the formations.
Oh, there was an obsession, we just couldn't leave it alone.
In a demonstration broadcast throughout England 4 years ago, Douglas Bauer and Dave Chorley said that after a night of drinking in a pub, they began making the circles in 1978 using the simplest of implements, a 6-foot board on a rope, to trample down crops so that the stems fell into ever-widening circles and ever more complex formations under the light of the moon.
There's the first circle, 1978.
Mr. Bauer has kept all the newspaper clippings that remind you what a frenzy there was when those circles started appearing. Their makers were never seen.
How could any 2 or 3 people make all of these circles in this short of a time?
Well, we used to journey over 200 miles some evenings. You know, it's a marvelous feeling to be in the middle of a cornfield at 1 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's in bed. You're the only 2 people in that vast expanse of land. The right-hand side of the stick is stationary.
Mr. Bauer says other hoaxers also discovered the joys of cornfields at midnight, and that's one reason why to this day the circles haven't stopped appearing even though he stopped making them. And that may sound like the final word until you mention Doug and Dave in the wrong pub.
The thing about old Doug is he's a sly old fox, and you can smell him from a mile away. It's disinformation.
Now I have to go try it. These people insist that hoaxers couldn't possibly have made all the formations that have been discovered. They still believe there is a phenomenon of some kind behind the appearance of the circles, and they're dedicated to investigating it, gathering to share stories and information and sightings.
Yes, it's a really breathtaking thing.
There's a fantastic one down in Hampshire.
This pub in Honey Street, England, The Barge, has become an unofficial gathering place for people from all over the world who call themselves croppies and who come every summer when the crops are high and the circles appear.
All different. Sculpture, everyone.
Peter Sorensen, a 53-year-old Californian among the growing contingent of Americans, has spent the last 4 summers videotaping the crop formations from the air.
In a way, it doesn't matter who is making these things. If they're human beings indeed, these human beings are having a tremendous effect on the consciousness of thousands and thousands of people around here.
The circles are undeniably beautiful and compelling to look at. They are formed when stalks of wheat or other crops are laid low to the ground after night falls, sometimes in perfect circles and sometimes in patterns that resemble hieroglyphics. They are concentrated here in south-central England, but they have been found in other countries, including the U.S.
A few days ago, it was just another grassy field. A strange pattern measuring...
How do you do that? I don't know how you do that. That's impossible.
The Levers say our farmlands are so vast that circles are harder to find here. But Randall McAllister found this 46-footer last year in a rye field in Bethune, South Carolina.
Like it was cut with a giant cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? Okay, what we're looking at is a phenomenon that won't quit.
And that's what attracted us back to this story. It won't quit. It survives on a measure of human nature, a model of how irrepressible a phenomenon can be once it's caught the fancy of enough people. Some believe in UFOs, some believe in weather phenomena, some believe the circles form a pattern of communication from some higher intelligence. Everyone has a theory.
Every single person you will talk to will have a different and very firmly believe in this. Their answer is the best answer.
And like our affair with the Loch Ness Monster farther north, that obsession with circles has taken hold as an industry unto itself.
Corn circles appear all over the land.
This tour group of Americans paid roughly $2,000 a person for a tour that includes visits to the crop circle.
Don't worry about the sheep, they won't worry you.
Nobody knows where they come from. Nobody understands.
Because we're not talking about one or two people now, we're talking about thousands in some areas. And of course
It's grown that much.
Oh yes, it has.
The last 2 to 3 years, been a lot more.
More tourists?
Yeah.
Steve Sheen, the farm manager in whose fields this circle appeared, says that to him, the revived interest only means that he's constantly dealing with intruders who, unlike this group, don't ask permission.
Yesterday, I turfed out another dozen people who were obviously on a tour.
Turfed out, you say?
I told them to go away. In no uncertain terms.
Sheen says he'll believe the circles are man-made until someone proves differently.
Convince me.
Here's the proof. Mysterious symbols in the field.
I simply see what I see, which is a multiplicity of astonishingly articulate design. I don't know how they're made. They could not be man-made.
Among the circle experts you may find of an evening back at the barge, one of the most prominent this summer was a London businessman named Michael Glickman. Mr. Glickman is compiling a book of photographs he hopes to publish. His emphasis is on the design.
If there is this team of people, they are massively funded. They are erudite in geometry and drawing and proportion. They are capable of invisibility because they've never been seen or caught. They are capable of floating above the ground because they've never left a track. What is their motive, please?
No one knows, are they phony? Or maybe are they real?
We saw others we encountered at the barge fanning out into the fields by day to collect samples of plants.
We're totally passionate. It's our passion. I can't think of anything more exciting to me than to be within a crop circle. I never cease to feel the awesomeness and the magic of it.
Watch your hand. Oh, yeah, they're okay.
Those samples we saw collected arrived 3 weeks later at a laboratory in Michigan that's supported by an enthusiastic group of Americans. It's called BLT for John Burke, W.C. Levengood, and Nancy Talbot, its 3 founders.
I think that many scientists have been totally unaware of the anomalous things going on inside the plant that are totally impossible to vandalize or hoax.
While there are those looking for UFOs and those whose passion is design, BLT seeks a natural cause. Levengood, who has published papers in mainstream academic journals, says he doesn't think hoaxers could have produced the differences he's measured in plants taken from inside the circles.
The node length increase can be as much as 200 or 300%. In other words, can be as much as 1 or 2 millimeters increase. I measure every one. This is a normal node here. This is from the control plants. You can see here that the node is literally has a hole blown in it from the inside outward. That is a blown node. And in some cases, you see it just splits it right off the side. This is damn good evidence, I would say, that this is a genuine formation.
The explanation, favored by Levengood and his colleague John Burke, is that gas from the ionosphere, plasma, is attracted toward Earth by magnetic fields.
It spirals its way down, and it gets smaller and tighter and moves faster until it hits the ground and knocks down the crop. That's the simple version that will give you a simple circle.
As for those more complex circles, Burke says maybe they're similar to results produced by laboratory experiments in fluids.
The crescent shapes, which have been showing up increasingly the last 2 years, are also seen in plasma physics in the laboratory, where they organize themselves spontaneously.
All of the scientists we contacted said there were holes in the theories that don't account for the behavior of plasma. or the possibility that plants could have been damaged in other ways. They found the ideas implausible. But implausible has never been a discouraging word to those who've stayed the course of this phenomenon. There is still great drama in the discovery of these evolving formations, however they are made. And like many things that touch the sentiments in human nature, they have their seasons. The summer of '95 was a fairly prolific one in the fields of England, where more than 100 formations were counted. But when the harvest is ready and the fields are mowed, when the season is over and the circles are gone, the clientele here at the barge thins out. People go home with something to wait for next year. And even the hoaxers have a grudging respect for the notion that we seldom have long affairs with a hoax, no matter how good. It's the good mystery we stay faithful to.
It'll never finish. It'll go on forever. Everyone loves a mystery, but no one likes a solution to a mystery.
And on that last point, even some true believers would agree with Douglas Bauer.
The mystery of a Sherlock Holmes story is what's great about it. You know, not the final ending of it. Because as soon as it's over, you want another Sherlock Holmes story, don't you?
This is still really mysterious, Bob. Has anybody ever been apprehended doing this, taken by surprise in the night?
There's never been a gotcha in that case. And that's why there's two sides of your judgment. The one side says, look, somebody's really toying with you, so don't take it too seriously. But the other side is, nobody's been caught doing it yet. So you want to reserve a corner of your curiosity for some other kind of possibility.
And I'm a sucker for it because I feel the scientist in me demands that it be humans doing it. But, why haven't we seen them? That question remains.
And they're fascinating if for no other reason than just to look at them. The designs are incredible, and there have been some pretty educated geometric analyses of them.
True. Fascinating, Bob. Thank you.
I think you've done 2 reports on this. My feeling is it's you, Bob. Well, next. Whoop.
From Winchester, England, videographer Peter Sorensen has made an unusual discovery while analyzing footage he taped there during the summer of 1995. Sorensen has found that this crop circle is an accurate depiction of our inner solar system, with one startling exception. Earth is missing.
What this crop circle has in it is like a beaded necklace of separate circles that represents the asteroid belt. And we know this quite surely because inside of that thing is an area containing the orbits for 4 planets and a sun in the middle. And our own solar system, this is exactly the anatomy of it. The sun, then Mercury, then Venus, then the Earth, Mars, and the asteroid belt. There was Mars, there was Venus and Mercury, but no Earth. And like a little chill goes through me. I think, wait a minute, what does that mean?
Sorensen believes the crop circle may bear a message about the asteroid Tautatis, which some astronomers believe is on a collision course with planet Earth.
We've just discovered that there is a large asteroid, and it's headed towards Earth. It'll be here in 1999, and it may very well hit the Earth. It's within a very small distance, astronomically speaking. And I go, asteroid belt, crop circle, missing Earth. It all came together. And if it was to strike, it would be similar to what happened when the dinosaur became extinct. There won't be any life here to speak of afterwards.
The missing Earth crop circle has added fuel to the doomsday fire, but Sorensen believes this pattern is a warning, and that we must put technology to work in order to avert disaster.
For a long time, many scientists have been recommending that we should have missile systems in place that are designed to go out and hit an asteroid, push it out of the way. It's a doomsday scenario in some people's eyes, but not in mine. In my opinion, it means we have a chance to do something about it.
We'll have more stories from the news next time. Now, here's what's coming up on Sightings.